Hey, everybody, it's Mark Johnson with Guaranteed Rate. And every year I try to predict what happens to interest rates. I've been wrong the last couple of years, but this year I'm feeling pretty confident. Uh, Sales last month for the month of November for homes were up 6.1% higher than they were last year. And that's because in October and in September, so September and October, rates were down in the low, like 6.5 to 6.375 range. And many people went out and signed contracts and locked in rates at that time. And they were closing in the end of October. And most of those probably were in November. And that's why, it was an 18-month low that we had in interest rates during that September period. And then as soon as September was over, rates started climbing. And today they're really close to 7%. So the reason why interest rates are pesky high right now is because the economy is stronger than what the Federal Reserve wants to see. Also, there's inflationary pressures, so that it came down and it didn't come all the way down to what the Federal Reserve wanted. They want a 2% inflation number, and right now it's probably about 2.8%. So it's gone up from the lower, which was like 2.3, to just 5 basis points. And so and then unemployment's really low. So the combination of those three things are keeping interest rates kind of where they're at in the 7% range. And I believe that interest rates are going to stay there probably for the first quarter. So sometime maybe in March or April, we'll probably see interest rates drop again to 6.5%, maybe 6.375 to where they were in September when we saw kind of a surge of activity in home buying. I believe that, so my forecast is that interest rates are going to be somewhere in the 6.25% to 6.5% range. I'm going to be a little conservative and say that for most of the year, we're going to see about 6.375 is our, well, probably 6.5. Let's just take 6.5%. That's probably what the rates are going to be at for most of the year. You might see some dips there. And if you do see a dip, you're going to want to hurry and lock in your loan. If you're thinking of refinancing at 6.5% or 6.375, make sure you have your applications already started so that all you have to do is make a phone call. And then I can go ahead and lock in your loan very quickly so that you don't miss out on that. Most investors will let us renegotiate the rates one time if rates come down below what you locked in at too as well. So there's one caveat that could lower interest rates even more, and that is if unemployment were to spike. Now, we've seen several announcements of huge retail stores closing lots of their doors. I think Walgreens was one of them. I can't remember the discount store that's out there, but several of these like dollar store type stores are going to probably shut down, and there could be a spike in unemployment, and that could cause the Federal Reserve to lower their rates again. Now, it's the consensus is that next year the Federal Reserve will lower interest rates maybe twice. So in other words, 0.5%. They'll probably lower it a quarter, sometime probably in March. That'll give us a surge down to 6.5, and then sometime probably by summer they'll do it again. But then it'll probably stay static through that period of time. Anyway, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to either DM me or give me a call. I'm happy to tell you where rates are. You can also log on to my website at rate.com/Mark Johnson, M-A-R-C Johnson, and you can see what the rates are today. All right. Happy New Year. Thanks.